all of the research shows that in order for us to literally grow from those experiences, we have to find a way of processing them, and we have to find a new way of explaining to ourselves, making sense for ourselves of what this new reality, this new experience has shown us. And those are the two conditions. And somehow we need that this depth that we are having now, in order to truly, let whatever needs to emerge in terms of our felt experience, how I felt about the thing, what I thought about it, to emerge.
And as you were speaking then, I felt a sense of permission, which feels very similar to perhaps what you were saying, but a permission to be aware of my needs and to give space to talk about them in a way that feels comfortable and slow, in a kind of deeper level.
Yeah, I'm nodding because I think the slow is really important. I think how often I rush through things, and it's not until much later I truly recognize what the event meant to me, or the impact that it had, and yet I'm carrying it with me, literally daily, hourly, and yet never slowed down enough to understand what impact it's had.
And often I describe myself as being a slow processor. So it's I do, but I don't perhaps notice or pay attention to how I'm feeling, because I need to do, and the lag happens afterwards, where I really think, what happened? How did I feel? And if I think about the last year or year and a half, so much of what I've been doing is surviving, and whether that's been homeschooling and working, whether it's been putting the groups I do online, whether it's been attending events, it's been done out of necessity. It's what had to be done in order to get through the days, weeks, months. And I'm noticing that me as an individual, but perhaps what's happening as a society, and perhaps why we're all talking today, is that things are shifting again, and things are changing. And it's now that I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm ready to move forward. So that there's a tension. I don't know if I can keep doing. It feels like there's a need to pause and think, what have we been doing in a larger sense? I can see you're nodding. Perhaps relate to. Go on.
No, you go on.
I was wondering if that perhaps, if there was a language or a theory we could use as a way of making sense of that. I don't know if that would fit with the theory that we've mentioned in our previous conversations.
It fits completely. I mean, it's a body of work by somebody called Otto Scharmer, who works for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so a very grand place, and he works across the world with this theory. And basically, it's a way. Simply, it is a U, literally, shape. And what he is describing is that to truly learn from any process that we have been through, we have to create time and space. And really, so he has these 3 instructions: open mind, open heart, open will. So to truly learn, to truly process, we have to allow all those things to happen. And we kind of allow a process where we drop fully down into the U, to the bottom, which is often the place of most pain and difficulty and shame and all of the things we want to run away from. And yet it is only, we will only find the seeds for the new reality or renewal or growth if we truly allow ourselves to sit with the what is. And I was smiling as you were talking, because I was suddenly thinking, oh, yes, I have almost forgotten how the state of terror I felt in when we went into lockdown a year ago. And I literally remember terror at an existential level, that, oh my God, society as we know it will never be the same. And are we even seeing the beginning of such a dramatic breakdown that we may not be able to earn a living or live our lives in any way, shape or form in the way that we have lived them? And yet you've pointed to something I can feel today in this, like, well, we're out of this now, like we're out of the conference now, the festival now, the invitation to move on to the next thing without ever taking full account of the what is, what has truly happened, what has happened for us during this experience of COVID. And I hear your, when you say I'm not fully ready, I hear that hesitation, and I think that's a lovely hesitation for us all to take full account of what's happened and how we each think and feel about it.
And as you were speaking, I was thinking about this U shape and the discomfort, I think, of staying in that state at the bottom. I think you mentioned shame. For me, there's also fear, but to stay with difficult feelings and uncertainty is really quite challenging. And I can imagine, I think about how we might move forward and so, oh, not ready to. And that in itself, it's kind of taking me back into discomfort. Because there is a need to get out of it.
Even as I was describing my own terror, and it was terror, I felt embarrassed about saying it, as if, like, other people weren't terrified, and I'm speaking something that is so personal to me. Other people won't recognize that, or that's not how they would have framed it. And yet I know that the acknowledgement of those feelings and thoughts are the only way, the full acknowledgement of them are the only way that we will move into the next iteration, if you like, of our lives. If we deny, that our terrors, our fears, or whatever happens, sadnesses for each of us, we don't fully, whatever we form next doesn't take full account, and I know that it will just lead to more damage, another iteration in which we have to go back and learn again.
Yes.
So I really I'm with you completely in terms of the need to sit with.
I think I have as you were speaking then, I have this fear that we will just be propelled forward, and that all of this potential learning and growth will be missed with an absence of thought and reflection. And if we're not connecting with what has happened and how we're feeling, then we miss something really crucial. And in really simple terms, it feels like if we're just solution focused, then we're missing out on the potential of being compassion focused, or curiosity, or creative, because we're moving on too quickly. And I hope it's we've shared a little bit of our writing in our conversations, and one of the beautiful things that struck me in your writing was a desire to find the right words and see things in, you know, in the most articulate way.
Yeah.
And that really struck me, because actually that can become such a barrier to communication. So if we're so focused on saying things correctly and responding in the way we ought to, then yeah, if we're letting terminology, I mean, I love words and I love language, but if that gets in the way, then conversations are shut down and can't happen. I know for me, I have a fear of saying the wrong thing, of framing things incorrectly, of using the wrong labels and making things worse. Whereas, and that can mean I say nothing, and that can make me almost complicit in things that are really unhelpful. But I was wondering, is that, if you do you want to, could I invite you to maybe speak a little bit about how the need to say the right thing can get in the way?
I think you're pointing to, you know, things that you and I have talked about, and yes, it's a continual struggle for me in terms of this archaic experience I've had, that I have to find the right language, and if I just find the right language, then it will be, I will be able to meet the other person, or they will meet me. And what I know is that we only really truly meet in a kind of heartfelt place or heartfelt way. And so I guess the word I would use is compassion for actually, I've just realized in our conversation, what I know is that one of the routes to meeting in that heartfelt place, to really truly listen to each other, is compassion for ourselves and compassion for others. It's almost like if there was a roadmap, that's the roadmap. Because the way out, whatever our next new reality is, has to have all of the messy stuff in it. You know, our intuitions, all of the stuff that we hold dear, the stuff that we're frightened to speak, is all part of that vital data that will help us create any new reality, which actually is helpful to us as human beings. So I have literally, thank you for this, I have literally just realized, yes, of course, the pathway is compassion, is love and care.
I absolutely, I hear you completely. And alarmingly, I've just looked at the time, and apparently we've got 15 minutes and we're kind of done. But perhaps that is actually the best point to finish on, and our invitation to everyone here to, you know, make some time to process and kind of connect with ourselves in a deeper way, to truly make sense of what's been going on for us as individuals and as a community, so that we might find a more compassionate and loving way forward that allows the mess and the discomfort and the hope of a new journey. So, but thank you so much for all our conversations, and for this one. And I'm sorry, Claire, that we've overrun ever so slightly.
and thank you to you too. They've been lovely, lovely conversations. Oh, stopping recording.